Do you want to know why you find it so hard to romanticize your life? Why you can't seem to enjoy it and be happy the way that everyone else seems to be on social media? It's because of comparison. Comparison really is the thief of joy. And I want you to think of it like this. If someone that you held highly in your life was consistently telling you that you weren't worthy enough or that you weren't beautiful enough, would you then feel good about yourself? Or would you go about every single day worrying that you're not good enough, or worrying that you don't look good enough and that you're not being enough? It's most likely going to be the second option because of the way that that person has made you feel about yourself. Well, that's exactly what you are doing to your life. Every single negative thought that you put out into the universe is being brought back to you. How can you expect to live a positive life if you have a negative mindset? You can create the life of your dreams and manifest your desires and be the person that you've always wanted to be. But that doesn't come to those who do nothing and believe in nothing. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else or even the universe to believe in you? The ability to wake up one day and see the light that you have been waiting to see all this time, and you have the power in your hands to make your life cinematic. You just need to become the producer. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't watched my videos before, then hi, my name is Fleur. On this channel, I make videos about self-development and how you can become the best version of yourself. Today we're going to be talking all about jealousy, and I'm going to be splitting this video into 3 parts, where in the first part we will talk about how you can overcome jealousy when it comes to social media. In the second part we'll talk all about jealousy in friendships, and in the third part we'll talk about jealousy in romantic relationships. Before we actually get started, I just want to say that you are already getting one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself by clicking on this video, because even having the self-awareness to know that you are experiencing jealousy, which is a completely normal and natural thing, goes to show that you want to improve yourself and become a better version of yourself, and that is something that you should applaud yourself for. So let's begin with section number 1, which is all about comparison with social media. Though social media does actually allow us to connect with those in our life, it also has the ability to be a dangerous weapon in the game of comparison. Within seconds, we are able to see what thousands to millions of people are deciding to do with this present moment in their life at any point. And that is scary. Before social media or before technology was ever invented, you had to meet people to know what was going on in their life. You weren't able to just see it through an app the way that we are able to now. Because of that, it allows us to compare our present life with everybody else's present life. And it's so easy to excuse your desires by explaining that there isn't enough room for you to join in with the rest. So let's say, for example, you want to be a YouTuber, like I wanted to be a YouTuber before I started YouTube. It's very easy to tell yourself that you are never going to get the views and that no one's going to watch you because there are too many YouTubers and whatever niche it is that you're interested in is already saturated. I have always been interested in self-development. Making videos is something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to be able to help people, and this is something that is my hobby. I enjoy making YouTube videos. If I can just help one person, then I have done my role. I have done what I have set myself out to do. But it wasn't easy starting a YouTube channel. I had to overcome my insecurities and my fear of being seen, which, by the way, I did just make a video on how to overcome your fear of being seen. So if that's something you're struggling with, then I definitely recommend you watch that video. I don't regret for 1 minute starting this YouTube channel because I have been able to help people, and I have been told that by the people that I have helped. And that to me is worth overcoming my fear, and it is worth allowing myself to just enter into that space of being a YouTuber, even if there are those voices in my head that are telling me the space is already saturated and that I am not going to bring anything to the table. Because yes, you might have the same idea as someone else, but those two ideas are not going to be executed in the same way because you are two very different people with two very different mindsets. There could be someone that is waiting for you to become that person that you want to be. And because you are too scared of entering into that space, you aren't allowing that person to find you. Maybe they don't want to have those other people. Maybe they specifically are looking for you, and you are taking that chance away from yourself, but also from other people experiencing that. Deep down, you know that those people that you look up to were once where you are currently at. So the only difference that separates their journey with yours is that they actually did something with that desire. They actually did something with their life, and you are holding yourself back from that. Sometimes the best thing for you to do when you are finding yourself excessively comparing yourself to people online is to just simply delete social media. And I know, delete social media? How do I do that? I understand how you feel. It can be very difficult, especially if you find that you're spending a lot of your time on social media. Last year, I realized that I was going through this complete cycle of comparison where I would see all these beautiful women on TikTok and I would just compare myself to them, and it just wasn't helping me with my self-development journey. It wasn't helping me with feeling beautiful enough as I am. So I just decided to make that choice to delete TikTok. And this was before I ever made my own TikTok or my own YouTube, because the only reason why I ever actually got it back is because I wanted to start making content of my own, and obviously in order to do that I needed the app on my phone. But I found that in those months where I didn't have TikTok, I barely had any of those thoughts that I had had when I actually had it. Of course I was still struggling with insecurities, and of course I was still thinking things, but 50% of it was gone because I took that catalyst away from my life. I deleted TikTok, I stopped seeing all those people, and I allowed myself to just focus on me. And when you focus on yourself, you will see that it's so much easier to create the life of your dreams because you're not worried about how everyone else is living their life or what everybody else looks like. You're just focusing on you. At the end of the day, no matter how much you wish you could be someone else, whether it would be to have someone else's appearance or to have someone else's life, you won't ever be able to look or have that person's life. So why don't you at least try to make something of your life that you can enjoy and be proud of? Do with it what you can, because you can do anything. And the only thing that is holding you back from living the life that you want is yourself. And so if you know that, why are you making excuses of there being other reasons? Because there aren't other reasons, it's just you. The only thing that's in the way is you. I want you to remember that although you might be seeing someone that is your age that has this multi-million business and they're living their best life and that they have everything that you've always wanted, that doesn't mean that that couldn't be you one day. Their chapter 9 might just be your chapter 4, and just as you are at your chapter 4, there might be somebody else who's looking at your life and feeling envy of your life who's at chapter 1 or 2. And so you can't compare your story and the timeline of your story to someone else's, because the plot and the characters, specifically the main character, is completely different. It just means the universe knows you aren't ready for it yet, that you haven't built the character that you need to step into to be able to handle that kind of life. Sometimes you need to experience the journey because it will prepare you to living that kind of life. You can't just skip to the end. The journey is what teaches you, is what helps you plan to be able to know what it is you need to do when you get to that end, and to be able to know what kind of life that you are going to need to be living to get to the end, and what kind of person you will need to be to get to the end. Skipping it is not going to make your life easier. It will actually just make it more difficult, because you would have had no time to be that person that would have that end result. And lastly, the best way to realize what it is that you actually want from your own life is to see what you envy in someone else's life. Your jealousy is actually a very powerful tool that you can use to your advantage. Instead of using it against yourself, use it for yourself and build the life of your dreams. You can turn that jealousy into motivation for you to create that life, but you have to be that stepping stone. You can't just expect that it's going to enter into your life, because that's not how the world works. You have to be the one that sets out this mission and this path for you to get to where you want to get to, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Let's get on to section 2, which is going to be all about jealousy in friendships. I will say this now. If your friends are not excited for your achievements, are they really your friends? Because the people that truly love you and want to see you succeed in life are not going to be the ones that are judging you and are waiting to see your failure. If you can tell that instead of being happy for you, they're jealous of you or that they're trying to bring you down, then that's when you know that those people aren't right for you. However, if you have noticed that you yourself have become this person when you are feeling jealous every time someone has something exciting to share, then what it is that you need to do is to look deep into yourself. Are you feeling this way because you don't feel worthy of being celebrated? Or is it simply because you feel you don't have anything in your life to celebrate? And that is quite a hard question to ask yourself. Just because someone else has succeeded in their life, it doesn't mean that you too can't succeed in your life. As I said earlier, you cannot compare your journey to somebody else's journey. That goes hand in hand with your successes in life. For all you know, the person that is sharing their success with you may have been going through a complete failing period that you haven't seen. We all have points in our life where we are failing or succeeding, and so just because someone else is succeeding and you might be failing, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to get to the point where you too are succeeding. When I was younger, I used to struggle a lot when it came to jealousy of my best friends spending a lot of time with other people, because at the time, although I didn't realize it, I felt so replaceable. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel that I was enough. In fact, I was told those things by those friends at that time in my life. And so I was given a reason to think that way. And not only that, I had no self-love towards myself. I didn't have a relationship with myself. I had no reason to believe that I would be worthy of finding someone who would care about me and love me and want to be my best friend the way I would want to be theirs and the way I would love and care about them. And because I felt that way, I wasn't ever giving myself a chance to experience it. I was sending it out into the universe that I wasn't worthy of meeting the people that are right for me and of making friendships that will really fill my cup and make me feel good about myself. And the universe was saying, okay, that's how you feel? We will give that to you until you can one day wake up and see that you are actually worthy of having something other than that. And when I finally decided to wake up and see that I am worthy of having people that generally care about me and that aren't just faking it, or people that I don't have to change my personality for, tone myself down for, that's when I finally met the people that were right for me. And that's all it took. It took me changing my mindset for my life to change. If you have a negative mindset, you cannot build yourself a positive life. You have to have a positive mindset to build yourself a positive life. Only recently have I learned that if you are easily replaced with someone else, then you were never truly important to that person. You were never truly loved by that person, because the right friend and the right partner would never be able to find someone else to try and fill the void. They would never be able to replace you with someone else because you would have been enough for them to stay. Once you overcome this fear of being replaceable, then you will be able to see that the right people will never be able to replace you, and that even if they're spending so much time with others, that doesn't mean that they don't need to spend that time with you, that they don't still need you in your life. Just because they're reaching out to meet new people, that doesn't mean that they don't still want to come back to you at the end of the day. You have to believe that you are worthy of having a space in someone else's heart for life, and not just for a temporary moment in time. Because until you believe that, you unfortunately will not experience it. And the last section of this video is going to be surrounded on jealousy in romantic relationships, specifically retroactive jealousy. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is when you feel threatened by your partner's past relationships. Retroactive jealousy tends to occur from a deep insecurity and a lack of self-worth or love, and it tends to come from the same place of you believing that you are replaceable or that you aren't enough for that person to only want you. When you believe that you are replaceable, you will do everything to insist that your partner believes in that as well, even if it's not accurate, because deep down, that's what your brain is telling you. And because your brain is telling you that, you almost want to try and find evidence that your brain is correct because you want to believe in yourself, you want to trust yourself, but you have to remember that sometimes your mind is your biggest enemy, and sometimes your mind is the jealous friend who doesn't want to see you succeed in your life. If you ever find yourself suffering from retroactive jealousy, I want you to remind yourself that that person that you are with wouldn't be with you if they didn't want you. If they desired someone else, why would they be with you? The minute you see that you are worthy, you will know that you are not replaceable. The minute that you see that you are enough, you will not question whether that person is focusing on somebody else or not. Why would you hold back being able to find out whether this person is right for you or not? Why would you want to stop yourself from figuring that out? Because let's say the person you like or are in a partnership with decides to go after someone else or calls it off with you. Wouldn't it be worse to stay in the dark and inevitably be with someone who doesn't actually want you, or go back to being alone and focusing on yourself until you do eventually find the right person for you? Because let's be honest, it's really the first one that's the worst option, and yet in that moment in time we don't seem to think that way because we want that person to think that we are enough. The right person wouldn't need to meet someone else to know that you are the person that they want. They wouldn't have to leave your life to realize that what they had was all they needed, and you can't let someone disrespect you until they feel like respecting you. That is not the way that the world works. Lastly, for those who find themselves getting jealous in regards to the time that your partner spends with other people, I want you to realize that distance only makes the heart grow fonder. And you've probably heard this phrase quite a lot, but it is very true. As an individual, it is impossible to completely fill someone else's cup. You can't be their partner, their therapist, their friend, their parent, all in one go. That is just simply not your role. It's not your job to fix this person, and it never should be. They need to be fixing themselves. That is not your job. You're not their doctor. You're not their therapist. It's a good thing that this person that you are with has others that they can go to for help and has others that they can go to speak to, because as soon as you realize that you depend greatly on someone else, you need to take that step back and allow yourself to depend on others and go back to depending on yourself. The way that we become attached to people in our life and the way that we realize that we aren't able to be independent anymore because we've become codependent on someone else is by allowing our partner to be what completely fills your cup. Just as you can't completely fill someone else's cup, someone else can't completely fill your cup. And that's all for this video. If you found it helpful, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And lastly, if you are experiencing jealousy right now, then don't feel guilty for it. It's completely normal. You are only human, and you should be proud of yourself for clicking on this video and learning how to be more self-aware when it comes to jealousy. I hope that you have a great rest of your day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.